I'm standing by the River Kelvin just downstream from Queen Margaret Bridge, which skirts Glasgow's Botanic Gardens. I'm on the north pier of the original Queen Margaret Bridge, which was built in 1870, over 50 years before the construction of the bridge we know today. This bridge stood until its demolition in 1971. The bridge was known locally as Walker's Bridge, after John Ewing Walker, the coach proprietor who had the bridge built. At this time, the area we know as North Kelvin Side was still rural, with several estates and large estate houses. Maryhill was a borough in its own right at this time. Walker had plans, big plans. He contracted the top architect of the day, Alexander Thomson, to design the imposing wall and steps, thus transforming a steeply sloping site into an attractive south-facing elevated site for new housing. The tenements of Kelvinside Terrace South and Kelvinside Terrace West were built in the late 1870s, and so began the development of North Kelvinside. Although Ewing was now a land developer, he continued to run his taxi cabs with horses stabled in Ortega Street. He also had a kiosk at the north end of the bridge where cabs could be hired. Just imagine crossing Walker's Bridge in one of his horse-drawn taxi cabs towards the imposing wall and steps, the link from the already developed Great Western Road and Hamilton Drive to the still wooded north bank of the Kelvin. It's worth spending time looking round the wall. There are some surprises. Turn right from the bridge pier and you'll find a stone doorway at the base of the wall. This door has inspired many stories, and it is loved by local children and their parents. Where does the door lead to? Is there a magical land beyond the door? Some older, more sombre locals have surmised that Thompson, a devout Christian, who was nearing the end of his life when he designed the wall, might have been thinking of his own mortality and the life beyond. Back to the steps. Although nowadays the steps are used by runners as part of their exercise circuit, it's worth ascending a bit more slowly to take in the idiosyncrasies of Thomson's design. The steps themselves have seen better days. The original Giffnock stone steps have been patched up with concrete for public safety. Although the Giffnock quarry is long gone, the Greek Thomson's 60 Steps Preservation Trust is working hard to access funds to replace the steps with stone of a similar appearance and quality. The steps were originally lit by magnificent cast iron lamps until the Second World War, when metal was collected from all over the country for repurposing for the war effort. But have a close look and you will see the indentations in the stone edges of the steps showing where the lamps once stood. 2 at the bottom, 1 halfway up and 1 at the top. The lamps were of the same design as those Thompson used for Queen's Park Church, which was completely destroyed by bombs in 1943. Take time to look up as you climb the steps. There are columns embedded in the wall, little indentations that look like arrow slits. Was this a castle? And at the top on the right there appears to be what can only be described as a fireplace. Now walk along Kelvinside Terrace West to reach the Bellevue. Thompson designed this pillared lookout point to give views of the Kelvin Valley. 3 years ago you would have seen a very different sight. Extensive engineering work was underway to save the wall, which was bulging dangerously. A huge pit was dug right down to the base of the wall to allow metal support panels to be installed and drainage improvement to be carried out. There are underground watercourses all over this area. There was once even a waterfall into the Kelvin where Queen Margaret Drive and Kelvin Drive meet. With the walls secure and safe railings in place, local residents set about creating a wildlife garden. Parents and children sowed a wildflower meadow to attract pollinators. We have a buck hotel tucked under the trees. A mixed hedge is growing well, as are the round trees chosen by the residents. The Trust still has a lot to do. The steps themselves need replaced. The lamps need to be recast and put back in place. The delaminating coping stones at the east end of the wall need to be replaced. New railings need to be installed the length of the wall from the Bellevue garden. But the work completed to date has secured the wall and allowed the creation of a tranquil sunny garden. Sitting at the Bellevue of an evening with the sound of bees in the wildflowers and the River Kelvin flowing by down in the valley is one of life's pleasures. This is a very special corner of our city.